midnight glow on the YouTube screen. Sean B steps in where the cuts run deep. From a New York state of mind she was born to see. What gets lost in the dark, what they don't want to speak. Silk in her voice, but the questions hit hard. Pulling back the curtain, laying truth on the yard. Every hush-hush story, every shadow clue. She's piecing up the pain till the whole thing comes through. She don't chase noise, she follows the trail. When the headlines miss, she will still unveil. With a sharp-eyed soul and a heart that knows some stories need light so the healing can grow. On YouTube, tune in, let the realness rise. Like, share, subscribe, keep the truth alive. For the tears unseen and the cries turned low, she be lifting up the weight that the world let go. Every fact she finds got a purpose and pulse. Every case she touches makes the silence convulse. No cheap thrills, just grace and fire. Taking buried details higher and higher, where the whispers get drowned and the weak get missed. She's a soulful reminder they still exist. She can feel when the story ain't sitting right. So she walks through the dark just to bring back light. With that grown woman glow and pivotal flare, she's reaching for the truth 'cause it's waiting there. On YouTube, tune in, let the realness rise. Like, share, subscribe, keep the truth alive. That city soul, that uptown grace, and a mind that can read what time can't erase. So gather round close, let the story unfold. Some truths need a voice, some hearts need a hold, and she won't let the quiet just fade away. She's turning low, whispers into words that stay. And you tune in, let the realness rise. Let the realness rise. Revealed, and every story matters.
Hey, my babies, how y'all doing? Hey, like Gossip and Giggle say, hey y'all, hey. What's going on, Buttercup? Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Gretchen, Lady, hey y'all. What's going on, Linda? I did not forget. I'm going to call you. Just wanted you to enjoy your day. Yes. Hello, y'all. What's going on, Robin? What's going on, y'all? Hey. Linda said, let the nation rise. God, please protect everyone that is on the chat. Let them know to hold on because better days are coming. Amen and amen. Robin says, happy Juneteenth, everyone. Yes, yes. Gretchen said, let freedom ring. I'll be glad when we can, Gretchen. You know what I mean? Because y'all know me. Y'all know me. I got to be difficult. You know what I'm saying? I got to be difficult. I got to, I got to go far and beyond some stuff, right? And so, well, before we get all off into the ugly stuff, what y'all do today? Did anyone have the day off? What did y'all do? Because some people believe that, you know, even though it's a federal holiday, I'm still going to work because that's a right that I've been afforded, and so I'm not. I know, lady, I'm just hard headed. Oh, but you love me, yes. So some people are like, look, I'm going to work. Damn that. They thinking about the dollar, 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 right? The mighty dollar. And some people are like, yeah, nah, nope. That's the day that, history says that we were emancipated. And so I'm going to sit down for all of my forefathers and mothers that couldn't. I'm not doing nothing today. And everybody is entitled to their own perspective, their own decisions on how to enjoy their holiday. Hey, Nisi Poo. Hey, Nay. How you do? What you do today? Hmm? What you do today, Bo? Did Tina creep up in here and I ain't see her? Somebody said, hey, Tina. Where Tina at? Because I don't see her. Oh, you said, where my Tina? I don't know. I guess she had to work. She's not off yet. I'm not sure. She might be busy. Maybe her family's doing something, you know? So, Gretchen says, we were born into this world with nothing in our hands. And we're going to leave this world with nothing in our hands. That's right. I know, lady. I caught it. I call it, Bookie. Damn, I caught it. She said, I said, where? Not how. Y'all see how Lady be getting on me? Lady, oh my God. Lady is like the big sister that's really the little sister, but she be forgetting that she the little sister. That's what Lady is, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. Lady, yes, she has embodied everything that Lady has told me about her mother. I feel like in the videos that I've seen, I feel like Lady has embodied her mother. You know what I mean? Like she real nice, nasty. Lady is sweet. She really is. She is sweet. She loves to smile and laugh, but talk to her long enough. Yeah. Yeah. That little southern peach, she goes right away. But I love her. That's my girl. Absolutely. I hope one day all of us can meet one another. You know what I mean? Even if we just cam up, and just all see one another. Hey, my name is Sean B. What's going on, Robin? How are you? Yeah. I hope one day we can all do that. So everyone can become, you know what I mean? Like, she look at her hiding her face. You ain't shit. Stop that, lady. You stop that. You stop that. So, anybody gonna tell me what they did today? You drinking, lady? I know you about. Yeah, lady saucy. Lady is saucy. Better believe it. Gretchen, what you do today, bro? Now you better be relaxing because you've been working hard. So now you deserve to not be doing anything but enjoying the glow of your hard work for real. Buttercup said, "Well, I ran around handling some business all day with my sis. Isn't that the best? I remember those days when I could trust that chick I called my sister, but I don't do that too much these days." Ooh, the shade. Just telling the truth. Robin said, "I'm home cooking lasagna." All right. Gretchen said, "Just cook some fish and laid around." I know that's right, y'all. I didn't cook at all today. I don't cook on Fridays and Saturdays. And today was not going to be any different. Not at all. My husband got in there and whipped him and doobie up something while I ran some errands. And when I came home, I made me some coffee, took me a Tylenol, and laid down to watch television. I sure did. I really, really did. I sure did. Because today truly marks a day where we were free. And so that tells me we can make our own decision, right? Like, seriously, no longer locked in on a damn thing. You know what I mean? Because, see, there's no ambiguity with me with the word free. Ain't no questions about it where I'm concerned. Like, seriously. Like, are you telling me or asking me? Because, you know what I mean? The latter would be safe for you. Because I'm stupid and I have no problem saying no. I really, really don't. It's rained off and on here today. So there was no pulling the grill out because, historically, the South says that one of the ways to honor Juneteenth was to have, I call it a cookout. They call it a barbecue. Depending on where you live, I guess. But it was raining off and on here, so my husband and I chose not to do it. In fact, we just had, those really hard raindrops. You know what I mean? Like it sound like instead of a tap, it sounds like a clump. We just had one of those, like just 5 minutes ago. Absolutely. And then as soon as it started, it stopped. And it's been doing that all day. And the sky is beautiful and blue again. And you know what I mean? Like it's been crazy today, but it's cool. It's cool. I enjoy because we got our lawn and stuff cut today and everything trimmed up. So the rain came in time twice today to rinse it all down. Buttercup says, "I worked third shift and kept it moving when I clocked out at 7 this morning. Um, in all, in all that heat, I'm finally home, letting my wine chill while I make my seafood boil for later." Ooh, that sounds good. Yes. Nay said, "Yes, I worked today, but I did leave early. Now I'm about to cook for these kids." Spoken like a true mama. Okay, so y'all, in case y'all don't know, Lady is the brat of our family. Okay, I just want y'all to know that. I just want y'all to know that there is certain stuff that Lady just ain't doing. Okay, and the one that I know of is cooking. Lady ain't cooking. Lady do not like to cook. Excuse me, I had to swig that water. Lady does not like to cook, and her father has her spoiled. Oh man, she get a whole attitude if her father is not at home. She get a whole attitude. Yes, she do. She be like, what I'm supposed to eat? And she don't even live with her daddy. But that's how he got her. She said it's not my fault. Okay. Um Gretchen said, oh wait, Linda says I went to work and half a day. Now I'm going with the kids. Okay. Well, enjoy yourself, Linda. Gretchen says, Lady Mysterious, of course I'm in Jackson, Mississippi at the time. I know that's right. Lady says, see, what had happened was she just a brat, y'all. She is. She just a brat. She can't even help it. She is her daddy's baby. She is. And I love that for her. I love their relationship. I really, really do. They ride. They go out to eat together. They go fishing. I love that for them. She check on him. He check on her. Yes, yes. I love that. hmm It's a lot of us that don't have that. So I live vicariously through Lady with the daddy daughter stuff. Yeah. So y'all, I thought it a good idea, even though most of us in here are old enough to know exactly what Juneteenth means, right? I know we do. One second. I know we know. But I wanted to make a live just in case anybody would like to reflect on it later, right? Talking to a family member, a co-worker, a friend. Perhaps it's some facts that maybe you didn't know. And while I have a few different video joints to show you guys, I'm not, of course, going to show the whole damn thing, but just a little bit here and there to remind us what we've been through as a people. And see how we feel throughout, right? Let me see. Lady said you came in with the rain. Gretchen said yes, this is off and on. Rain here is something else. Makes you want to sleep, yeah. Gretchen says still house searching, trying to find one in North Jackson. Well, Gretchen, have you thought about going to excuse me. Have you thought about going to an agent? They have rental property listings just like sale properties. That might make it easier for you, right? Just a suggestion. Yeah, the same real estate agents that want to sell homes, they have listings that are for rent as well. Yeah. Just a suggestion, boo. All right, so let me see what's up first. Let me enlarge this. And
order. The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves. And the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between an employer and hired labor.
You can imagine the burden lifted from these people, the men, the women, the children that knew that they were chattel, property, and now understanding that they were free. But the question that was lingering was, what did freedom look like?
The slaves built this country.
They had a sense of who they were. They very quickly built a sense of community.
To what degree have we actually achieved the absolute freedom that Juneteenth promised?
Ignoring these painful histories doesn't mean that they don't still influence us.
So we're standing in the 2200 block of the Strand Historic District in Galveston. This was the heart of the commercial district, and at one time
Was the largest city in Texas.
the largest enslaver also lived here in Galveston. They owned 7 plantations, 4 in Brazoria County, 2 in Matagorda County, and 1 in Fort Bend.
Texas was this safe haven for slavery. They did what they call the running of the slaves. That was basically moving their slaves to Texas because there was no Union presence in Texas.
When Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, he knew that that would not immediately end slavery, and it didn't. And the reason is fairly simple. The Confederate States of America had formed its own country. They elected their own president. Confederate states printed their own money.
Do y'all see that the bullshit was even happening back then? It was even happening back then. Yeah, the slaves was free, but they wasn't free. You see what I'm saying? Like, and so that's why they ask, well, what do freedom look like then? Because this say we free. They said, no. And remember, see, this is where the stuff started in Texas, where they made their own laws, right? They made their own, they lived by their own laws. And it never stopped till this day. Till this day. If Texas can cover it up, they will. Now, it's no secret that I am focusing on Texas, right? It's no secret why I'm focusing on Texas. I'm not going to let up off of Texas until Texas lets up off of Carmelo Anthony. I'm not. That's a fact. So that's just a little disclaimer. But Texas been on that bullshit for a very, very, very long time. But I'll continue.
Which is why the Confederacy and the United States went to war. The United States' goal at the beginning of the war was just to restore the Union. The first war goal was not to emancipate the enslaved population.
And there were all these myths and stories about what happened and why it took 2.5 years for the word to reach Texas. Plantation owners in Texas were well aware of the Emancipation Proclamation, but they ignored it. What they cared about was maintaining the agrarian economy in Texas, and that was solidly based on cotton. And to maintain that, they needed slave labor. General Gordon Granger was on his way to Texas. Most of the Texas authorities had a pretty good idea what he was coming to Texas to do. Granger was in Texas for about a month. He sent his troops.
There were white soldiers and black soldiers.
Plantation to plantation, making the announcement.
Those black soldiers are people who especially helped shift the Union war goals from a war to restore the Union into a war of emancipation. It was personal for them.
They went over to the old Custom House on 20th Street to the Courthouse Square, from the Courthouse Square to the Colored Church on Broadway, which was Reedy Chuck.
Some of the dock workers were among the first to get the word, and so the celebrations began.
Give us a sense of what it must have been like for slaves on Juneteenth when they heard that message.
You know, that was something that was almost like going to heaven.
The celebrations, just to be so excited to taste that freedom.
The initial celebrations, there would be prayer services looking back at our journey in this country and what we had to endure in bondage. And the people who never lived to see that day. I think it's inescapable not to remember those people. Transatlantic voyage, the Middle Passage, people jumping off ships to avoid the treatment that they would have to endure.
and old Marshall didn't tell you, it was free.
He didn't tell you that?
No, he didn't tell you. I think now they said it wait them 6 months out of that. 6 months. And turn them loose on the 19th of June. That's why you celebrate that day. Colors folks celebrate that day.
One of the quotes that I'm most fond of is from a former slave named Felix Haywood. Slavery could make you free, but it couldn't make you rich, because a lot of slaves thought that now that they were free, they would be rich, just like the white man.
You think about the elation, the trepidation of enslaved people not knowing what their future holds and being enslaved and bondage being lifted from their backs.
And there was one narrative about one slave who got the word, and his sister said, brother gave a whoop and ran away, and I never saw him again.
Was the South ready to free slaves? No, we know that.
Even though the order indicated the enslaved were free, if you look at the last sentence, it gives some instructions of what they can or cannot do.
The freedmen are advised to remain quietly at their present homes and work for wages. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts and that they will not be supported in idleness either there or elsewhere.
When you're told you're free, you're thinking that, oh, I can live my life. But it wasn't like that.
On one hand, you were free by name, but the actual reality of freedom, you were not fully experiencing it.
There were a lot of very frightened former slaves, and a lot of them stayed on the plantation.
They laid the bricks in the downtown area here where we stand on many of these buildings. Not only laid the bricks, but made the bricks.
Just off Galveston's bustling Broadway Street is Ashton Villa, built in 1859 by James Monroe Brown, a loyalist to the Confederacy, dubbed an honorary colonel. Brown was also a wealthy banker, architect, and mason who designed what's believed to be Texas' first all-brick house, a palace with bricks, all laid by slaves.
Did y'all hear that contradiction? Did y'all hear how she contradicted herself? She said that the building was built by Brown. Then she turned around and said all the bricks were made and laid by slaves. See, that's that bullshit that I be talking about. That's that double talk. You see what I'm saying? And they let her get away with that. She is fine with what she said. And she's black. See, I couldn't be so passive, so submissive. I couldn't do that. Somebody else would have had to give that fork-tongued story right there, because you can't be on both sides of the street at the same time. Now, you know what I mean? Yes, and she was black. Yes, lady. Like, wait a minute, did he build it or did the slaves do it? Because that's what you said, lady. I mean, woman. That's what you said. You said the man was a banker and an architect. His name was something Brown, and he built the house. But then you said brick by brick, laid by slaves, made by slaves. So I'm confused. Which is it? Right? Which is it? So that was the point that I wanted to bring to you guys. The double talk. The don't look over here. Just pay attention to this over here. That's what I was wanting to show you guys that Texas has been involved in a very, very long time. And Galveston is very much a very old town built up by slaves. And today in Texas, none of that matters. None of it. None of it matters. the universities. Okay. The universities and everything.
The police force of southern cities would send certain police officers to patrol Black communities. Slave patrols in many parts of the South literally become police forces whose job it is to then police newly formed Black communities.
Plantations ultimately turned to prisons, with slave labor giving way to prison labor all across Texas, including Sugar Land.
This building is actually 80 years old. It was originally a prison and part of the Texas prison system.
It was an extension of the Central State Prison Farm. The big brick building known as 2 Camp opened in 1939.
It was a prison population of color, primarily African American, some Hispanic.
The inmates worked the fields of the state-run farm. An inmate recalled that upon arriving at 2 Camp in 1960, he was immediately ushered out into the fields to pick cotton. At the end of a grueling day, workers would return to the dormitory, where life was often just as hard.
They lived in very close quarters, actually in very hot conditions and very cold conditions.
Its occupants are mostly children now, but for 30 years, this structure housed inmates.
Modern day slavery, y'all. I don't know no other way to put that. Modern day slavery. Now, some people would say, well, then, all you got to do is follow the law and you ain't got to worry about nothing. But we all know that that's a lie. We all know that's a lie. We all know. Right? So, we all know it's a lie, and it's okay that some people, don't want to admit it. Because back then it was a crime to be Black. Okay? These days, we add little quirky shit to it, like what do they say? Riding a bike while being Black, crossing the street while being Black, coming out the store while being Black. And that is because back then it was straight up illegal to be Black. And the fact that we were emancipated was merely a small inconvenience. But they figured out how to work with that, didn't they? They said, okay, we'll lock them up for every little damn thing, every little nuance that they do. If their foot touches the sidewalk, we arresting them. Right? It could be a car half a mile up the street. But if a Black person crossing the street, we're arresting them for jaywalking. And then they go and they put people in these prisons and send them right out to the same fields that we were emancipated from. Nope, they could not drink a Coke. They could not, no. All they could have was water, milk from a cow, or from a goat. Yep. Well water. That's a fact. Let me go to the next thing. Let me see. Did you guys know that? Wait a minute. Okay, yeah. Did you guys know that what's his name? George Floyd went to the second established Black high school in Galveston, Texas? He did. I mean, of course, it was established before he was born. I'm just saying. The high school that George Floyd went to was the second established high school. Yeah. I think. Okay, I think that's it for that one. Let me see. Okay, so on that one.
Proves the truth of Founding Fathers' sacred oath. We hold these truths like dark snuff in our jaw. Black oppression's not happenstance, it's law.
Here goes our girl lady, Claudette Colvin.
Claudette was 15 years old. She lived in a community known as King Hill, northeastern part of the city. And she had been to school that day, and the kids, the black kids, and it's a small black community surrounded by whites. And they would use the public transportation to go from there downtown, transfer, get another bus, go out to Booker Washington School, where they went to school. And on this particular day, they were let out of school early. I think the teachers were having a meeting or something. And those kids, instead of getting the bus from Union Street, where Booker Washington was, and walk to and get Oak Park bus and go downtown, they just walked downtown to get the bus to go home.
The bus was at full capacity, and the bus driver asked for he asked for the 4 seats. I don't know, 4 of the students got up, 3 of the students got up, and I remained seated. They reluctantly got up because they got up and stood up. It was only the other white people didn't want to sit there because it's ridiculous. But I wasn't sitting in the white section. I was sitting in the color section. But white people would want to sit in the color section, and the colored people wasn't allowed to sit in the white section if there was empty seats. So this white lady had the whole seat opposite me, but she wasn't going to sit in that seat because I was sitting across from her.
So in other words, y'all, what she's saying is there were empty seats up front where the white people were designated to sit. But this white woman on this particular day chose to be an asshole. And because white people were entitled to sit wherever the hell they wanted to sit, they were even emboldened to prey upon the black people who could not sit where they wanted to sit. And so to mess with them, just to flex on them, they would go in the black section and say, "Girl, get up. I want that seat." Knowing it's in the black section, it's in the colored section. But that wasn't the point. This white woman wanted to, exaggerate her authority for being white on anybody sitting in any seat that she wanted to sit in. And on that day, Claudette said, "I don't give a fuck. I'm not getting up. No, I'm not. It's seats up there in the front. Them y'all seats. We ain't got but 4 or 5 back here. What you coming back here bothering us for?" Now, I'm not quoting Claudette as having said that, but I'm just saying. She basically said, "No, I'm not getting up. Go sit up there in y'all seats." Just wanted to break that down a little bit.
Well, ask her to get up again. He said, well, we've been studying about Black History Month, and they had in February, and that she was not sitting in those first 10 seats reserved for whites. She paid her fare, and she wasn't going to move.
I didn't get up. I told the people I didn't get up because history had me glued to the seat. And when they said, "Why this? How is that?" I said, "I felt as though John the True Hands were pushing me down on one shoulder and Harriet Tubman hands were pushing me down on another." My mind was on all our heroes. I wasn't going to be made a spectacle for them that day. I was just going to do something that was really going to shake them up. I was going to rebel against them because I knew they was doing wrong. That was unfair, and I wasn't breaking the law. Patrolman came to the back door, and he asked me why was I sitting there, and I told him I paid my fare, and it's my constitutional rights. And he yelled back to the driver that he had no jurisdiction here. So they must have discussed that he could make no arrest, right? The traffic patrolman. And that was a petition at the court square where there was colored people there waiting for their bus and white too. So I guess he said to keep from having a riot or something. He was told him to drive down one block. After we got to Bibb and Commerce Street, two squad car policemen came and they come to the back door and they asked me the same question and they was even more rude. And the guy one grabbed me by the arm and because I refused. I told you I was glued to the seat, and so they had to unglue me from the seat. So by ungluing me from the seat, they had to manhandle me and drag me off the bus because I refused to walk. They took me and booked me, and then after they took me and booked me, they didn't take me to a juvenile facility. They took me to an adult jail, to the city jail. And that's where my pastor and my mother came and got me out. And I think that now I'm thinking I'm glad that I'm getting some recognition now from what I did, and that now my grandchildren and that my son, my surviving son, can see that their mother, my son can see that his mother, my grandchildren can see that their grandmother stood up for something right.
Claudette, we love you. Claudette, we love you. Come on now.
She said so her babies can see that she stood up for something. Okay? And that's all I'm trying to get people to embrace. Is standing up for something today. But here we are. Lady, you can't hear anything? Lady? Oh my God.
So told them, and they authorized
seats. I don't know if four of the students got up. Oh, three of the students got up, and I remained seated.
Did y'all hear this part already?
They reluctantly got up because they got up and stood up. It was only the other white people didn't want to sit there because those, it's ridiculous. But those, I wasn't sitting in the white section. I was sitting in the color section. But white people would want to sit in the color section and the seats opposite me, but she wasn't going to sit in that seat.
He said, well, we've been studying about black was not sitting in those first 10 seats. We moved.
I didn't get up. I told the people I didn't get up because history had me glued to the seat. And when they said, well, how is that? I said, I felt as though John the True Hands were pushing me down on one shoulder and Harriet Tubman hands were pushing me down on another. My mind was on all our heroes. I wasn't going to be made a spectacle for them that day. I was just going to do something that was really going to shake them up. I was going to rebel against them because I knew they was doing wrong. That was unfair and I wasn't breaking the law. Patrolman came to the back door and I told him I paid my fare back to the driver that he had no jurisdiction here. So they must have discussed that he could make no arrest right square where there was colored people there waiting for their bus and white too. So I guess he said to keep from having a riot or something. He was told him to drive down one block. After we got to Bibb and Commerce Street, two squad car policemen came and they come to the back door and they asked me the same question and they was even more rude. And the guy, one grabbed me by the arm and because I refused. I told you I was glued to the seat. And so they had to unglue me from the seat. So by ungluing me from the seat, they had to manhandle me and drag me off the bus because I refused to walk. They took me and booked me. And then after they took me and booked me, they didn't take me to a juvenile facility. They took me to an adult jail, to the city jail. And that's where my pastor and my mother came and got me out. And I think that now I'm thinking I'm glad that I'm getting some recognition now from what I did. And that now my grandchildren and that my son, my surviving son, can see that their mother, my son can see that his mother, my grandchildren can see that their grandmother stood up for something right.
She said, I'm glad I'm getting recognition for it now so that my children and grandchildren can see, excuse me, that I stood up for something right. That's really messed up. Because her name wasn't said at first. All of this had to come later on. It was only Rosa Parks' name that was said back then, during the bus boycott and all of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's really, really messed up. Because Rosa Parks looked the part. And Miss Claudette didn't. And that's really messed up. It really is. And I wonder, do everybody know that the bus boycott lasted 300 and some odd days? You see if they say it.
From slavery time forward, including Reconstruction, was to continue to try to improve and peck away at doing away with it. Police brutality is nothing new. It's been here all the time. We're going to have to still continue to work with it. But it's not a one-man show. If you go back and look at the bus boycott and look at the civil rights development, civil rights movement as it has developed, you'll find that it took a lot of people. There was the lawyers involved, there were people making speeches, there were people who were demonstrating, there were people who were doing a lot of different things, not just jumping out there by yourself, but work on it, make a plan. So I say to all of us that we still have these problems involved that we had then. A lot of them have been solved. They're not nearly as difficult as they used to be, but we need to come up with a plan. One, we need to acknowledge that racism and inequality is wrong and it needs to be stopped. If Joanne and I had not done what we did in her living room that night, that would have been, I'm sure, a civil rights movement, but that would have been. And if Mrs. Parks had not done what she did on December the 1st, she wouldn't have been arrested. There would have been she wouldn't have been tried on the 5th. There would have been no bus protests. There would have been no meeting at Hope Street Baptist Church. Dr. King would not have been would not have been selected to be the speaker. And of course, Claudette Carvin had done what she had done and gave all of us impetus and encouragement to go on. So we have to have a plan. Once we have a plan, you got to implement the plan. And once you implement the plan, you have to remember that each one of us has got to be a part of doing away with it. Fred.
Oh, but I'm crazy though. Don't nobody want to hear me when I say that. Don't nobody want to hear me when I say, let's organize something. Don't nobody want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that.
Racism not racism, but we're going to fight with solidarity. We said we're not going to fight capitalism with black capitalism, but we're going to fight it with socialism. Everything would be all right if everything was put back in the hands of the people. And we're going to have to put it back in the hands of the people.
There was a time in America when just speaking out for justice could put a target on your back. And in the 1960s, Chicago, one young man did more than speak. He organized, unified, and inspired. His name was Fred Hampton. He was just 21 years old when he was killed in his sleep during a police raid. But what led to that night, and why was he seen as such a threat? Dear viewers, this is not a mere story of a life around them and what those systems do in response. Begin this unforgettable journey.
Me, myself, I was born in a so-called bourgeois community.
Now, I'm showing this because I know that there are a lot of people that don't know the sort of things that were done. Wait a minute. No sound. What do you mean? What do you mean no sound? Rob, y'all stop playing with me. For real? Okay. Well, I'm going to start it over. I know y'all can hear me. If you can't hear me, you got to go out and come back in. Yeah, because my green light is bubbling. So it might be Robin. But I'm playing this because I'm coming forward in time. Right? All right, Robin, that's cool. I'm coming forward in time on how even when we made 2 steps forward, they would still knock us 5 steps back. Right? And so we've come out of the Jim Crow days. Now we're into civil rights. Okay?
Had some of the better things you could see in life. And I found that it was more people starving than there was people eating. And I found that more people didn't have clothes than they did have clothes. And I found I just happened to be one of the few. And I made a commitment to myself that I wouldn't stop doing what I'm doing until all those people are free.
Fred Hampton entered the world on August 30th, 1948, in the Chicago area, at a time when the civil rights struggle in America was approaching a boil. His parents had moved north from Louisiana as part of the Great Migration, seeking better opportunities outside the Jim Crow South, cornstarch plant. In this working-class Black community, young Fred grew up hearing stories of racial injustice and resistance. His family even had a personal connection to one of the era's most galvanizing tragedies. They were friends with the family of Emmett Till, the Black teenager whose brutal murder in 1955 became a defining moment in the fight for racial justice, igniting a movement that would forever change America. These early influences planted in Hampton an acute awareness of racial injustice from a very young age. Hampton was an active and bright child, both breakfast for children in his neighborhood, personally cooking and serving food to kids who might otherwise go without a good meal. This simple act of generosity in hindsight foreshadowed the famous free breakfast programs he would later establish. The Rights Act of 1965 were passed, signaling victory for nonviolent activism. Yet victories in law were met with resistance and violence across the country. As Hampton came of age, he witnessed the rise of Black power as a response to the limitations of nonviolence. Major cities were erupting in uprisings: Watts in 1965, Detroit and Newark in 1967, fueled by frustrations over racism and poverty. In 1966, as Hampton turned 18, the same year he graduated high school, two young activists in Oakland, California, Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale, formed the Black Panther Party for self-defense. The Panthers stood for a more militant approach to combating racial injustice, openly carrying weapons to police their communities against brutality, and coupling that militancy with community service programs. These national currents would soon sweep Hampton into their tide. Hampton briefly pursued higher education, studying pre-law at a local junior college after high school. He envisioned learning the law to better defend his people's rights, but it was in grassroots organizing that he truly found his calling. He joined the Youth Council of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People in the West Suburban branch and quickly rose to a leadership position. In that role, Hampton demonstrated an uncanny ability to mobilize others. In a community of roughly 27,000 Black residents, he recruited about 500 youth into the NAACP, a remarkable feat of organization for a teenager. With these numbers, he agitated successfully for improvements in his hometown.
I can't let it go without being said that that's when the NAACP was all Black. That's when the NAACP could be trusted. That's when you knew that the NAACP was working for you. We can't say that today.
Lobbying for better recreational facilities and educational resources for the Black community. One of his notable campaigns was to demand a public swimming pool in Maywood so Black children could swim safely without traveling to distant segregated pools. This campaign's worth fighting for. It also brought him face to face with the power structure in his suburb. In 1967, after leading peaceful demonstrations for the pool, Hampton was arrested on charges of mob action. He was merely 19, but he was already viewed as a troublemaker by local law enforcement for rallying his community. Quietly, another entity had also taken notice of the young activist's efforts. Hampton's effective community organizing and growing influence did not escape the gaze of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. In the mid-1960s, the FBI was increasingly fixated on Black civil rights and Black power leaders, fearing the rise of what FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover termed a Black Messiah, marked cars tailing them. Hampton's phone was likely tapped. Years later, documents would confirm extensive FBI wiretaps on Panther phones. Undeterred, Hampton doubled down on his activism. He gave rousing speeches, including his famous refrain, "You can jail a revolutionary, but you can't jail the revolution. You can run a freedom fighter out of the country, but you can't run freedom out of the country. And you can kill a revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution." Those words, delivered with fiery resolve, would echo tragically after his death. But in late 1969, they served as a bold declaration that Hampton would not be intimidated by the forces arrayed against him. Still, the omnipresent stress took a toll, had bouts of exhaustion and concern, though he did not know the worst traitor sat right at his side. He half joked to friends about the prospect of dying for the cause, at times even seeming to predict it. In a speech that autumn, he remarked, "I believe I will be able to die as a revolutionary in the international revolutionary proletarian struggle." Hampton had just turned 21, yet spoke about death with a mix of defiance and acceptance, as if aware that martyrdom might come early. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, plans were in motion that would vindicate Hampton's darkest suspicions. The FBI's informant, William O'Neill, was busier than ever. O'Neill had gained Hampton's trust enough to become the Panthers' local chief of security, meaning...
That's Eddie, y'all. That's Carmel Anthony's Eddie. This dude right here.
He was tasked with safeguarding Panther headquarters and arranging Hampton's security detail. In that role, O'Neill had access to the keys to Panther apartments and knowledge of their routines. The Chicago FBI office, coordinating with Hanrahan's prosecutors and Chicago police, began mapping out an operation to raid Hampton's residence. They framed it as a weapons search, officially a pre-dawn raid to seize illegal firearms. But everything, from the timing in the dead of night to the firepower marshaled, indicated this was no mere search. It was an attack. As later investigations uncovered, the tactical team even had a detailed floor plan of Hampton's apartment, supplied by none other than O'Neill. That floor plan pinpointed where Fred would likely be sleeping. It was, in effect, a target map, with the machinery of COINTELPRO churning in the background and local law enforcement itching to deliver a blow to the Panthers. The trap was set. Fred Hampton, under surveillance and marked by the FBI as an agitator, was living on borrowed time. Unaware of the exact shape of the danger but fully cognizant it was coming, he continued his work, meeting with community members, speaking at colleges, planning the next day's breakfast menu for neighborhood kids, all while under the shadow of a looming deadly confrontation. The slogan, "All power to the people," remained on his lips, but across town in law enforcement offices, another unspoken motto seemed to be guiding his adversaries: "Get Hampton." December 4th, 1969, Chicago, Illinois. It was a bitterly cold pre-dawn Thursday, and most of the city was fast asleep. In a modest two-bedroom apartment at 2337 West Monroe Street, Fred Hampton and several Black Panther comrades lay resting after a long night of political organizing. The 21-year-old Hampton was asleep on a mattress in the back bedroom next to his fiancée, Deborah Johnson, who was over 8 months pregnant with their first child. Unbeknownst to the Panthers inside, a heavily armed police team was gathering quietly outside the front door, preparing to strike with the element of total surprise. They had come equipped with a detailed layout of the apartment's interior, and they had a mission fueled by two forces: the zeal of law and order crusaders and the guiding hand of J. Edgar Hoover's FBI. Around 4:45 a.m., the silence was shattered. A dozen police officers, led by Cook County State's Attorney's Office investigators, stormed through the front door, guns drawn. A single startling gunshot rang out immediately as they burst in. That shot came from Mark Clark, a 22-year-old Black Panther on security duty, who had been sitting in the front room, a shotgun in his lap. As officers kicked in the door, one of them fatally shot Clark through the heart. Clark's shotgun discharged once into the ceiling as his dying reflex pulled the trigger, the only Panther bullet fired during the entire raid. From that moment on, all gunfire came from the police. The apartment was plunged into chaos. Flashes of gunfire, alarm, but most had barely a chance as the floor plan had outlined. They quickly moved toward the back bedroom where Fred Hampton slept, shouted out a warning: "Fred, wake up, the pigs are coming." But Hampton did not stir normally. He was groggy and unresponsive, had surreptitiously drugged Hampton with a barbiturate sedative in his drink that evening to ensure he would not wake during the raid. As Hampton lay there, barely conscious, police bullets ripped through the walls and door of his bedroom. Officers sprayed the bed with gunfire, riddling it with holes. In the haze of adrenaline and fear, Deborah Johnson remembers screaming that she was pregnant, hoping to stave off the shooting. The gunfire paused, and officers entered the bedroom. They dragged Johnson out, physically removing the young woman from the line of fire. Fred Hampton, however, remained on the bed, bleeding and immobilized, having been struck by bullets. What came next would be seared into the memories of those present and later confirmed by forensic evidence. Panthers heard an officer ask, "Is he still alive?" as they stood over Hampton's bullet-riddled body. Then 2 gunshots erupted from the bedroom, 2 muzzle flashes aimed at Hampton's head and chest at point-blank range. Deborah Johnson in the next room heard one policeman coldly declare, "He's good and dead now." Fred Hampton was assassinated in his own bed, in his home, while unconscious. The raid team had effectively executed the primary target of their operation. They proceeded to fire a few more rounds through the apartment for good measure, but the brief battle was over almost as soon as it started. When the smoke cleared, 2 men were dead, Fred Hampton and Mark Clark. Hampton's blood pooled on the mattress where moments before he had been sleeping peacefully. Around him, the apartment looked like a war zone. More than 80 bullet holes scarred the walls, furniture, and doors. The Panthers' simple apartment, with its posters of revolutionary leaders and its kitchen stocked for the free breakfast program, had been utterly devastated by an onslaught of police fire. Astonishingly, the 7 other occupants survived, though several were wounded. A few Panthers had minor arms at hand, but never got off a shot in the surprise onslaught. They were in shock, tending to the wounded and trying to process the horror that their inspirational young leader, Chairman Fred, had been cut down in a flash. Outside the apartment, the police officers were oddly jubilant, according to survivors. They hauled the surviving Panthers out to squad cars, some in handcuffs, and were heard laughing and congratulating each other. The bodies of Hampton and Clark were removed, and the scene was left unsecured, a crucial point that would later allow Panthers to document the truth of what happened. In the still dark hours of that morning, the police hurried to shape the public narrative of the raid. Before Fred Hampton's body had even grown cold, State's Attorney Edward Hanrahan was preparing a press statement framing the incident as a righteous shootout with dangerous criminals. Chicago awoke on December 4th.
Y'all hear that narrative? They had a dangerous shootout with armed criminals. Did y'all hear that shit? Hey, truthfully speaking, how are you? Hey, Vanessa. Thank you for joining us.
1969, to news of a deadly gun battle between the police and Black Panthers. In initial press conferences, State's Attorney Hanrahan triumphantly claimed his officers had been attacked by the Panthers and acted in self-defense. He painted a vivid picture of Panther extremists who supposedly unleashed wild gunfire on the police as they tried to serve a lawful search warrant. Hanrahan even displayed an array of seized weapons and boasted about the courage of his men under fire. According to his account, the Panthers had opened fire first and a raging shootout ensued, implicitly justifying the tragic deaths. The immediate violent criminal reaction of the occupants in shooting at announced police officers emphasizes the extreme viciousness of the Black Panther Party, Hanrahan declared unflinchingly to the media. But this official narrative began to crumble almost as quickly as it was constructed. The survivors of the raid, the Panthers who lived through that night, told a radically different story. They insisted that Hampton and Clark had been assassinated, pure and simple, in their beds. They pointed out that most of them never even fired a weapon. How could there have been a fierce firefight? Very quickly, physical evidence backed the Panthers' version. Journalists and community members toured the bullet-riddled apartment in the days after, because the police had failed to cordon it off. What they saw was telling. Nearly all bullet holes angled inward, evidence of rounds fired into the rooms, not outgoing. One much publicized claim by police was that a door jamb showed marks of incoming Panther bullets, but closer inspection revealed those holes were actually nail heads, not bullet holes at all. The Panthers shrewdly guided reporters through the apartment, preserving the crime scene in photographs that showed the trajectory of bullets. These tours made headlines, and the public's suspicions grew that the police story was false. Under mounting pressure, Hanrahan's narrative faltered. Ballistics analysis later confirmed that the police had fired dozens upon dozens of shots between 82 and 99, while only one shot, Mark Clark's reflexive discharge as he fell, came from the Panthers' side. That statistic alone starkly contradicted the notion of an even exchange of gunfire. Moreover, no stash of illegal weapons was found in the apartment. The warrant that justified the raid appeared to have been based on flimsy information at best.
No, it was based on a lie. It was based on a lie.
Or, as some suspected, deliberately exaggerated intelligence funneled via the FBI's informant. In short order, the charges against the 7 surviving Panthers for attempted murder and aggravated assault on the officers were dropped in 1970. Prosecutors realized those charges could never hold up once evidence showed the Panthers hardly fired a shot. As the truth of the raid emerged, outrage swept through Chicago's black community and far beyond. To many, the events had all the hallmarks of their own criminal charges at the time, and only police testimonies and selected evidence were presented. The coroner's jury ruled the deaths justifiable homicides. This verdict outraged Hampton's family and supporters. They derided the inquest as a sham. Attorneys for the families pointed out that the jury never heard the Panthers' direct accounts, increased public scrutiny of the FBI. In the mid-1970s, the U.S. Senate's Church Committee issued reports that condemned COINTELPRO, and new guidelines were implemented, however imperfectly, to prevent future domestic spying abuses. Many saw Fred Hampton's fate as a cautionary tale of unchecked government power. His name was frequently invoked in discussions about civil liberties and the lengths to which the FBI might go to stifle dissent. Over time, Fred Hampton became more than a man. He became a symbol of the heavy price paid in the struggle for justice and the importance of safeguarding democratic rights, even for society's dissenters. Fred Hampton was laid to rest on December 9, 1969, at the First Baptist Church of Melrose Park in Illinois. It was a cold, gray day, but more than 5,000 people turned out for his funeral. Mourners overflowed into the streets, a mix of grieving family, fellow activists, and ordinary citizens who felt compelled to honor the fallen leader. The Reverend Jesse Jackson, who had been a rising civil rights figure in Chicago and New Hampton, delivered a eulogy that captured the sorrow and anger of the moment. Jackson praised Hampton's commitment to his people.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Right? It just doesn't stop, right? It just don't stop. It don't stop. It just gets worse and worse. And so I want to show now the way white folks move right in. Well, I want to read something to you guys about how white people move right in our face. Right in our face. And nothing is ever done about it. Right? For half a century, Strom Thurmond fought to keep Black Americans out of every room he entered. He filibustered the Civil Rights Act for 24 hours straight, meaning he literally stood on the floor in Capitol Hill, refusing to leave the floor for 24 hours, berating everyone who was still there to listen about his opinion of keeping us segregated. He built a career of segregation, white supremacy, and the myth of racial purity. But he also had a secret. In 2003, 6 months after his death, a woman named Essie Mae Washington Williams stepped forward. She was 78 years old. She was Black. And Strom Thurmond was her father. He was her father. Yeah. He was her father, y'all. Wait, what am I doing? Okay. He was that baby's pappy. That white man was that Black woman's daddy. Yeah. Truthfully Speaking says, Robin, hello. I know you don't know me. However, my mom's name was Robin. She passed on my birthday in 2016. It feels good to see your name. It reminds me of my mommy. Much love, Queen. Oh, that's beautiful. So, as I'm showing here, this man right here was a racist son of a bitch. However, when this young lady came along, where's she at? This young lady right here, he said, ooh, I got to have some of that. And therefore he did. And when their child turned 16 years old, her mama told her the truth about who her daddy was. So these two made her. And oftentimes, while he would be giving his speeches, she would be sitting in the audience. Can y'all imagine? Watching. Now, history says that one day she went to see him. She went to visit him. And he didn't deny her. He looked up and he said, yes, this is indeed my daughter. But the audacity it is for me, it's the audacity. Because see, just like what's true today, see, I'm not showing none of these for nothing. Just like what's true today, as white folks, we could say what we want to whomever we want, whenever we want, whatever we want. But you cannot. I can say I hate black people and have a black child in hiding somewhere. And I'm still a white man and I'm still superior. That's the audacity. That's literally the audacity. As we see laid out right in front of us. It's literally right in front of us. He was a racist motherfucker. He was a racist motherfucker. This is him years later. He and her had secret sexual relations and made this woman right here. And I couldn't find any younger pictures of her. But can y'all imagine sitting in the audience and listening to your racist father berate and disrespect and just desecrate any importance of black people? And your black self, all you could do is just sit there and listen. Hey, sexy mama, how you doing, boo? All you could do is sit there and listen. You couldn't do anything. Just for him to turn around, he paid for her tuition to school. He sent her money every now and then. But, you know, he secretly acknowledged her. And it was once he was gone that she wrote this memoir. Dear Senator, a memoir by the daughter of Stroman Thurman. I thought that was kind of important and very prevalent to today's society about how white folks think that they are entitled with all kind of audacity. Yet we can't even get, they don't care that, it doesn't matter that they don't tell the truth. But even when we try to, they kill us for it or they lock us up. And they cover shit up and let the narratives roll. That is the stuff that I'm talking about that I simply cannot stand. Um, so let me go back here. Truthfully Speaking says, I'm a little emotional. I apologize for this chat, Sean B. 0616 was on Tuesday, and today, Juneteenth, plus everything else that is going on. Well, I'm sorry, truthfully speaking. We're all here for you, love. I'm honored that you shared it with us. And if you need to talk, if you want to talk, you can come up on the panel. I'll clear the stage for you, and we'll definitely sit with you and talk to you and help you get through this if that's what you would like to do. We're family, love, and we've all been through some stuff. Lady announced to the family just last week what happened to her mom, although I knew the whole time it wasn't my business to tell. But if you would like to, if you want to come up and talk, I'll talk with you, and we'll all sit with you. I am too without my mom, but I've been that way most of my life. So I'm at a place at this big old age. I handle it differently. But I lost my grandma in 2016. So I definitely understand your pain. And my grandmother was my mom, because my mom died when I was a little girl. So my grandma made the necessary decisions for my life. And I lost something very valuable the day she died. So I understand where you're coming from. I understand. Do I feel your pain? No, I don't. And don't let anybody tell you that. Your pain is yours, love. And if you would like to share it with us, we're here. Lady's pain is hers, and mine is mine. I understand how it feels for your mom not to be there anymore. And I'm so sorry that any of us have to be in a club that none of us chose to become members of, right? And that's motherless children. None of us chose this for us, but we'll help you get through it. That's a promise. I'll come up to speak with you. Oh, I am honored. 1 second, baby. 1 second. There's the link. And you come on up when ready, okay? Come on up whenever you're ready. Oh, baby, we ain't got nothing but love and grace over here. That's all we have. Love and grace. So I wanted to show those things while we wait for Truthfully Speaking to come up. I wanted to show those things. Okay, let me add my girl. Hey, wait a minute, unmute. There you go. Wait, unmute. There you go. Hey, boo.
Hey, sweetie, how you doing?
I love Gypsy Glitter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You, Mom.
1 second, hold on, sweetie pie. Give mommy 1 second.
I love you.
Okay, 1 second.
Please tell me, Mom.
Okay, I apologize for my baby.
No, you don't need to apologize, baby. They bring us joy. They bring us our joy.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, he does. He's definitely my game changer that Christ Jesus told me I would receive. The game changer.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yes, he's autistic. So my other babies, I didn't have, you know, I'd never been through this before personally.
Hmm.
So it definitely changed everything.
Hmm. God
But
said
thank you.
God said you needed a distraction.
And speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna mute my mic and let you talk, baby. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Just a little bit of my backstory. Um, on June 16th, I found my mother at a mutual friend's house in their back shed, um, deceased. Um, it changed my entire life. She then, before she passed away, she had a heart attack because my mother took a lot of her years in life of what she went through with her family, and she began to use drugs. And behind her using the drugs, it changed the queen that she was to her being the queen that she became to be. That ended up being something that I never thought I could ever see from her. Then her family turned on her even more and pushed her to the point where we all had, our nose up in a way of thinking that the addiction was something that she could shake off. Boy, have I learned my lesson. I have learned. I've learned my lesson. Um, oh, great. Um, excuse me. uh, After she passed away, um, her mother, which is my grandmother, Odessa, she ended up passing away in 2017. And that's who was a slave and had to wash and clean white people's homes and floors and feed their babies with her breast, um, and was illiterate. Didn't know how to read or write. Um, and so all of that just jumbled together, just coming into your chat consistently. I was fine. And I don't know what happened today. Seeing Miss Robin's name just was like, ding. I don't know. I don't know. Mhm. But thank you for letting me speak a little bit.
It's quite all right, love. It really is. Um, what I want to say is you and another lady in our family definitely have a lot in common. You and another woman in our family here on this channel, y'all have some stuff in common. And perhaps one day you guys can connect and talk. I believe that would be helpful to you both. Um, I'll definitely talk to her about it and see if she wants to reach out to you. And next time you guys are up here together, I will, if she wants to, she can reach out to you. But what I believe happened today was just a spiritual enlightening, right? It's like sometimes we go through the humdrum of every day. We just keep it moving, one step in front of the other. Um, See, there she is right there. truthfully speaking. It's Lady. See, I wasn't going to say anything. I let y'all tell y'all stories. But because I knew she was here, I wanted her to hear me tell you that I believe you guys talking together can be some healing for one another. And so she's letting you know that she is the other family member of ours here that I'm speaking of. And Lady is saying in the chat that you and her have similarities of y'all's mom. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
But what happened today, in my opinion, is you have those days where you're up, and you're down, and some days it's just like blah. You know what I mean? Like can't really put your finger on it, but you ain't happy, but you ain't sad. You're just kind of in the middle, just moving through the day. And
Yes.
today, maybe she touched your shoulder when you read that name. When you read that name, your mom just touched your shoulder. And it's okay. It's cleansing to cry. It's strengthening to get it out. We keep that stress in and it just weakens us. So we're here to strengthen you, love. You cry all you want to. You have a right.
Oh, Christ Jesus has a funny way of doing everything. Everything he does has a purpose. And I know for a fact that this is for a purpose and a plan. I just don't know what, I just don't know.
Yeah. What happened with your mom? I can't speak on that. And I'm not even going to try. When I say everything is all right, what I mean is it's all right for you to cry. It's all right for you to feel whatever it is you're feeling, as long as you make it to the other side. Because clearly you've got someone right there next to you that needs you.
Yes.
So we're going to do our part and be an ear and perhaps even a shoulder so that you can be there for your shorty and love every day.
Yes, thank you. And I'm open to speak with Miss Lady. My Facebook is connected. If it's open to anyone and everyone. I'm not used to being the one that's this, way. I'm usually being the stronger, the one that is there for others. So this is a different seat I'm sitting in right now, Miss Shambi. So.
Okay. Robin says, yes, same here. I lost my mommy August 12th of 2022, and it feels like yesterday.
Oh, Christ Jesus, have your way.
Lady says, I watch old movies, listen to comedies, sit outside and talk to her, and we still fuss. We still fuss now, but smile through it. Your memories, rather good or bad, but she's still mom, regardless of her life. That's a fact. Sexy Mama Libra says she lost her mom 12 years ago. So we just in a group of motherless children here, y'all.
Amen. Yeah.
How beautiful that is.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Touched within the Holy Spirit was to send it out for the masses of us to know that we aren't alone, and that it was a reminder for me to also know that I'm not alone. I'm not the only person that knows what it feels like to be a motherless child, to feel like I've literally been abandoned, of the flesh.
Absolutely.
So I'm grateful to. I wish this wasn't the part that brought me to your panel, up on your panel to speak, because you've had so many, elevating and informative lives that I have taken part in and enjoyed every moment of it.
Thank you.
Before you had your own page, until you had your own page. So I thank you again. I think the ladies in the chat, I appreciate you all for expressing your openness with me and with Sharmby and everybody. I appreciate it. I really do.
And we appreciate you and your transparency. And you know what? It takes strength to open up. So don't think yourself weak. It takes courage to open up. It does. Don't you ever let anybody tell you anything different. You did not have a moment of weakness. You, in fact, had a moment of clarity. That's what that was.
Oh,
That was
thank
a moment of clarity. Something told you it's okay. You're in a safe place. Go
I
ahead.
concur.
Go ahead, babe. I'm listening.
I concur. I concur with you. I do. I concur. Because you know the enemy tries to hit you with different thought processes when he tries. He tries to get in, with the thought and for you to say it. Hallelujah. That is just for me to have you saying that was a wake-up call. Yep. He tried and he defeated.
That's all that is. That's all that is. Cowards hide. Okay? Don't ever forget that. Does that mean that everything is everybody's business? No, that's not what I'm saying. But in this context, you needed someone to speak to. You needed someone to talk to. You had some stuff you needed to let it out. You needed someone to tell you it's okay, cry. We're here. We are not judging you. And damn it, if I stay on here much longer, I might be crying with you. Y'all know I ain't got no problem crying. Y'all know I got you sitting right here. Stop playing with me. I'll cry in a minute. I don't care. Call me a big loud mouth crybaby. That's exactly what I am.
And that's what Miss Lady, I just read that message. Miss Lady said that you have a way of making a person smile and laugh, through the tears, You have a way. Yes, you do. I agree with that.
Do you have my email address?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Lady is giving you her name on Facebook. Do you see
Okay.
it there?
I wear glasses, so I'm looking.
It
I should
says
go to the other part of their live so I can see it bigger.
LaShawn James Jones.
Oh, I see it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's 1, 2, 3, 7 up. Okay, yes, ma'am.
When you reach out to her, she'll give you my email address.
Okay.
And we can all three connect on Messenger. We could do a conference. Y'all could do a one-on-one. You and I could do a one-on-one. I have no problem. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you all. I'm going back in the chat. I love you all. I appreciate you all.
See, Vanessa said I'm in tears too. See what I'm saying? Okay. Girl, you just helped us cleanse some stuff. Thank you.
Glory.
Okay. But you reach out whenever you're ready. We'll be right here.
Yes, ma'am. I'm coming to talk to you, okay, baby?
You get that baby a kiss on the cheek for me, Bo.
Yes, ma'am. Talk to y'all soon.
All right. Bye-bye. Ooh, y'all. What just happened? What just happened? What just happened? What just happened here? Thank you, lady. Thank you, Bookie. I think you deleted it. I'm trying to delete it, and it's telling me it's a okay. You deleted it already. That's why I couldn't. Okay, that was amazing. That was amazing. What I gathered from that was God said, "Okay, Sean, there'll be that'll be enough of that." All I was trying to get across to y'all is, just to put a period on my demonstration today, is that the fight is not over. What Texas is doing to Carmelo is obvious. It's in our face, and they don't give a damn. They showed a bunch of fictitious videos during that trial. They told a bunch of lies, and they orchestrated the testimony of the Metcalf friends and the Judas named Eddie. And in case some of y'all didn't know, Carmelo was dating Eddie's pretend cousin. Okay? So when Eddie set his ass up on that stand and said he didn't know Carmelo, was a lie. So I need all of y'all, when y'all are talking to people about this case and they utter one damn word about Carmelo being where he deserves to be, let them know about the lies that were told. Thank you, sexy mama. I love you, boo. Thank you. You let them know about the lies that were told, the cover up that's committed, and they keep covering it up. If the judge has nothing to hide, why did he take his name off of a website that he created? I mean, not his name, his face, his picture. Why did his wife delete her picture off of all of her social media? Why did she do that? If these people are so on the level, right? They've done nothing unethical, nothing illegal. Why are they hiding? If everything was done legally, why did the testimony of the so-called witnesses change from talking to the investigators to talking to the district attorney or the defense attorney? Absolutely, sexy mama said it's a reason for everything. Absolutely. Lady says your divine purpose for this channel. Wow, boo. Okay. I'll take that. Truthfully speaking says, I'm sorry, Robin Bradley, for your loss and that you know what this feels like. I'm here for you with love prayers, and just to be quiet and let you breathe if need be. I know that's right. No, a lot of people don't know how to do that. Just sit and be quiet. Don't say nothing. Just so that a person can cry and not be alone while they're doing it. That's very powerful. Sexy Mama said it's a reason for everything. Truthfully speaking says, yes, I concur. Lady Mysterious, this is Sean B. Divine purpose for her channel. Lady says, about the case, they weren't so innocent at all. Sexy Mama says at 12 years old. girlfriends, listen here. We gonna be all right. Nicole, I don't know if I spoke to you, but I certainly saw you come in, baby. But I was in the midst of something. But I saw you come in, boo. I sure did. Nay, I don't know if you're still in here. You were in here earlier. A lot of people have left and come back. We just having a moment right now. We just having a moment. I don't quite know what it's going to take for our own Black people to stop being so quick to judge, because they wouldn't want that if it were their child. I cannot believe that people can sit and hear the same stuff that I've heard and still come up with the opinion that they deserve, that Carmelo Anthony deserved to be charged some kind of way. I don't understand that. But I'm just going to worry about me. I don't understand that, y'all. I don't. Not manslaughter, not nothing besides justifiable homicide or not guilty. That's it. That's all. That's it, man. I'm not settling for anything else. Everything points to unethical procedures, lies, all kinds of perjury. They deliberately showed the video and altered it. Anytime you show a video and you have to zoom in or zoom out, that alters the video. The only way the video is not altered is if when you input the video and press play. That's unaltered. Other than that, they showed altered video. And they knew that the more they zoomed in to get closer to the tent, the blurrier it became. And so that's what they presented to the courtroom. You got to be fucking kidding me. I don't understand, people. I really don't understand. Hold on. Lady says, so Sean B, do that go back to the other twin didn't get it? Exactly. What twin? A twin? An identical twin is not going to get on the stage and testify to what happened the day his twin, who he shared a sack with, let alone inside the same belly at the same time, is not going to get on the stand and testify to what happened if everything that he has to say is the truth? That's still going to end with the verdict that they want? He didn't get on that stand because he knew he would lie, and lies can be tripped up. Even though I don't think the defense attorney would have did much damage at all. I don't think he would have. But I think it's very telling, and it was purely divine that he didn't get up on that stand. It's very telling. Absolutely. Very telling. Truthfully Speaking says, yes, ma'am. I had to stop and actually listen to the facts to receive the reality check. Carmelo Anthony was defending himself. I applaud you so much. Truthfully speaking, I applaud you for that. That takes courage to admit You know what I mean? Maybe I missed something. I wasn't paying attention. You know, I heard he brought the knife to school. He shouldn't have brought the knife. So therefore, I applaud you for that. I really do. Lady says, we love for free and stuck like Chuck. And nothing y'all can do about it. Yes, sexy mama. I had it up there, boo. You ain't see me put the super chat up there, baby? Yeah, I put it up there on the screen, boo. I did. Thank you. Truthfully speaking says legal malpractice, ineffective counsel. What is that? Mendacity? I never heard that word before. Is the stench that doesn't pass the smallest test. I know that's right. Sexy mama said God all up and through there. Amen. Stuck like Chuck. That's right. You're a bastard and you can go fuck your mother. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Know-it-all. Bye, bitch. How about that? LaDonna Sanders. How you doing, love? You're a new name. How are you? Hello? LaDonna, how you doing? Ain't that right, lady? Ain't that right? We just bust through the door. That's been happening lately. That means, you know what I mean? That's what happens when the devil come trying to muck up the situation. With something good going on over here, and the devil had to come through. The devil just had to come through. But I'm get y'all right on up out of here. See, there's an order of operation and etiquette that goes on over here. We speak to folks when we come in the door. We say hello, how you doing? You know what I mean? Y'all just busting through the door, ain't saying nothing to nobody. That's not polite at all. And I don't care how somebody else runs their channel. Over here, we're family, and we speak to one another. And regardless if I agree with your comment or not, we speak to one another over here. Well, apparently we're slow. So anyway, as I was saying, okay, I hope that, you know, what happened with you, truthfully speaking, you know, the clarity that you came to realize, and maybe somebody said something that didn't click with you before, or, you know, maybe you was just too busy doing something else. You wasn't quite, you know what I mean? And so you got it now, though. And it's never too late. Anyway, like I was saying, I hope that everybody starts to go around social media, you know, listen to everything that is informative. There are people that saw the video last year, not even this year, not even that grainy bullshit that was being shown during the trial. They saw it last year. They went to the school, filled out the paperwork, or whatever building it was, filled out the paperwork, went up on the second floor. This is how one guy described it. And he was actually in the room when the lady that was recording it got caught. So, and the way that all of these people that saw the video describes it, all the same. All the same. And if there is a scintilla of difference, it's only because one has a little more detail. Like the one lady on another show that I was watching, she said she saw somebody in a yellow raincoat, where the dude that was on another show didn't say a yellow raincoat, right? So it is worth our while to get invested emotionally. Listen, we sit up, we listen to gossip all the time, we put our opinions on that. We damn sure can talk about this. And hopefully, and I do mean prayerfully, everybody will get on one accord and want to organize some kind of boycott. I'm not going to give it up. I'm not going to stop talking about it, because it needs to happen. It needs to happen. And see what Martin Luther King Jr. and them did all those years ago. They did it in Montgomery. That's it. But they did it for a whole year. They did it in one city, but they did it for 364 days. Lord have mercy. But they did it. And if we want to walk around saying that we are not our ancestors, implying that we're stronger and smarter and more courageous than them, then I need motherfuckers to stand up and act like it. The boycott that I am proposing don't even take us outside our door, so we ain't even got to be bad. We don't even have to be bad. We ain't got to put on our most comfortable shoes. We ain't got to worry about the rain or the sun or the snow. We ain't got to worry about nothing. Nothing. You ain't got to go to work. You ain't got to send your kids to school. Because see, when Sean B speaks of a boycott, I mean, don't none of us leave the house. Don't not one of us leave the house. Since Black folks, or those who support us, are so fucking insignificant. If we are deemed so unimportant, then surely you won't miss all of us for a whole day. Surely you won't miss us not being on public transportation. Surely you won't miss the CNAs not at work wiping ass that day, right? Or feeding the patients. Surely you won't miss the city workers picking up your trash, like, because you've got to call in the folks that's off work that day. Surely you won't miss us, right? Surely you won't miss us not being at the grocery stores, at the cash register, smiling and swiping. Oh no, y'all not gonna miss our kids not being in school that day. And so because you work at a predominant, because you know your white teacher work at a predominantly Black school, ain't no kids in her school that day, in her class that day. That's what I'm talking about. Truthfully speaking, shut it down. That's what I'm talking about. One day where don't nobody leave the goddamn house. One day where your man he got carte blanche to sit up all day with his hands on his nuts and the controller in the other hand playing the game, even though that's what the fuck his sorry ass do all goddamn day. Well, this particular day, it's all right. One day. One fucking day. One day. Where you ain't got to worry about putting on your eyelashes and arching your damn eyebrows and making sure everything is all cute before you put on your work clothes and get to stepping. Just one day where you just stay home. You don't spend no gas. You ain't got to get out of bed. You ain't got to do nothing. But one of the most important things you'll ever do in your life, and that is like what Claudette Colvin said, stand up for something. Stand up for something. And stop talking about it. Because Texas don't give a fuck about our words. That's why Carmelo is where he is right now. Because all everybody had was words. And I can't do it by myself. I'm going to keep saying it. And at the end of this thing, when Carmelo does finally walk out of that prison, whether he's freed or given an appeal, I hope all of y'all remember that's all Sean B been talking about is a boycott. But nobody would listen. Nobody would listen. Oh, boy. I am going to bid you guys a great day. Truthfully speaking, I hope you reach out to Lady and y'all talk. And she'll let me know if I can be of any service. In the meanwhile, ladies, y'all make sure y'all be good and be careful because somebody here loves you. We need you. Y'all be good. Peace.
Yeah. Sean B on YouTube. Ooh, yeah. Late night on the screen, got the city lights low. Sean B bringing truth to the stories below. From New York with grace and a mind so wise, she can see through the dark, she can read through the lines. Every clue, every name, every twist, every turn, she be digging down deep till the realness burns. For the ones left behind, for the pain unseen, she be lifting those voices in between the scenes. So like, share, subscribe, let the real ones roll. Sean B on the case, going straight for the soul. On YouTube she shines, bringing truth to the few. When the world stays quiet, she comes breaking through. Like, share, subscribe, let the story breathe. Sean B got the light that the people need. Ooh, Sean B, true crime, baby. Tune in and watch the truth speak.